Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Tuesday edition. I got ahead of myself there a little bit of Daily Betslip. It is myself. It is Reed Wallach. I got a full show tonight talking about some NBA, some NHL, some college basketball, including game of the night, Loyola Marymount against UC Irvine.
Yes, the highly touted receiving 4 votes Anteaters live on what do we think they're on Flow Sports?
Yeah, probably something like that. Yeah, Zot.
On Zot on your whatever streams you could get it on that will give your computer a virus.
Yes, correct. I'm sure I've gotten plenty of viruses watching UC Irvine streams over the past couple of years, but actually game of the night is Kansas Duke. But in my opinion, let's be real. Let's be real. It's UC Irvine. Not enough.
College basketball is the illegal stream sport. That's where you get all the viruses. That's where you got to find your Tarleton States versus Texas A&M Corpus Christi's. Those aren't just on Watch ESPN. You got to get down and dirty for those.
Yeah, I'm at the point now in my while I used to stream everything illegally. I've gotten at the point now where basically every sport I have an actual subscription to watch it, except for college basketball. College basketball, these mid-majors in the middle of nowhere, it's either illegal stream, get virus, or you don't get to watch it. So,
yeah, I remember back in the day, I'm aging myself, the Score mobile chat.
Yep.
Where you would have a random person, with me and my roommates, we used to sit in my college dorm and have some random person who would claim they're at the game giving updates while there's also all the other trolls being 3-pointer, steal, all this stuff, spamming the chat and stuff. Those were the dark days of sports betting. Now everything is pretty much readily accessible.
Yes, for sure. UC Irvine, though, not enough people are talking about. They upset Oregon by 1 million points. Everyone was asleep. I was up grinding. I was up watching. I was up cheering on my Anteaters. And what a display that was. I don't even remember what night that was. Friday night, maybe? Yeah, go Anteaters. So I am going to have a pick for that game. You can probably guess who I'm going to be on, but we'll get to that in a little bit. But first, we do got to start off, unfortunately, Reed, with Survivor.
I thought we were going to just have a nice show, a lighthearted, back and forth. We weren't going to have to talk about it.
No, I unfortunately have to bring it up. You were on the Eagles last night. And this was, I saw you tweet that right before kickoff on Sunday, you did consider switching over to the Steelers. You didn't. It would have been an all-time switch. Unfortunately, you stuck with the Eagles, and we saw what happened last night. So I'll give you a chance, a little debrief, because you are eliminated, and I'm still alive. So.
Yeah. What final 12 now? 13?
13.
I blew it. I had the more I thought about it, the more I was I did a primetime game the week before with the Chiefs, and I was really nervy, and I didn't feel as confident in the Eagles. And I really like Pittsburgh. I mean, I bet Pittsburgh against New Orleans. I just thought that was a great spot for them off the bye. New Orleans not very good to begin with at home. I wasn't concerned about what was home on. I think they closed a small favorite anyway. But, I woke up Sunday morning and this thought was in my head that just switch the Steelers, my gut feeling, and ultimately didn't go with my gut, stuck with the Eagles, and it came back to bite me. And obviously they lose in the most gut-wrenching way possible. Fumbles, missed calls, this, that, ridiculous penalties. It's not even they lost. It had to be painful. And, I was sitting there excruciating pain. But we move, a little upset, obviously, but now I get to root for you. So you should be happy. You gained an ally in the Eagles losing. Not only did people get eliminated, you gained me as now someone pulling for you.
Yeah, it was a painful way for you to lose. You did end up in the money. You did walk away with the money at least.
That hurts a little bit, especially because I'm not just saying I wasn't kicking myself for maybe oh, I've done this. No, I literally was thinking I'm in another pool where I switched. I discussed amongst friends I'm thinking about switching, and I didn't do it. So maybe that's a learning lesson for me in this pursuit of gambling immortality.
So I will say what my Survivor pick will be this week, and actually our Survivor pick. I got to say this every time I talk about it because it is technically my girlfriend's entry. She did make picks early in the season.
I've pulled up the schedule now.
It's a team effort now.
I still want some consultation. I want us to still do this. I want to be part of the process, hopefully.
Well, I think it's an obvious one. It's that we still have the Baltimore Ravens. We are one of only 3. There's 3 of us out of the 13 left. Only 3 of us have the Ravens left to use, and they're by far the biggest favorites of the week at home against the Panthers. So to me, it's an absolute no-brainer. You just go Ravens.
Yeah, I think that makes a lot of sense, especially considering, you look at the rest of the board. You said only 3 entries left have Baltimore. You look at the rest of the board, it's not an easy slate. I mean, you got teams like San Francisco, Kansas City. They're big favorites, but they're on the road against divisional opponents. You never know with that. The Bills, that would have been my pick probably. I still had them, but, snow in the forecast, as that played on more of the Brown strength. So I think, if you got the Ravens, this is the time to use them. Oh, Eagles also probably going to be a popular pick again against the Colts. But yeah, no, I think that this is definitely the week to use the Ravens and against the Panthers, nonetheless, double-digit favorite. Only one of the week.
Yeah, by far the biggest favorite of the week. And usually the downside of picking a big favorite is a ton of people are going to be on them. Not the case with the Ravens. I'm guessing all 3 of us that have the Ravens are going to use them.
Yeah.
I thought about Packers on Thursday night. They're only small favorites, but I think they kill Tennessee. We do still have the Bills available, but that snowy game, I don't have a lot of confidence there. Mm-hmm. And then there's not really, we can't use the Eagles. We've already used the Eagles. There's not really any other spot possible. So I think we just go with the biggest favorite of the week, hope that there's chaos in the 10 other people that don't have the Ravens, and move on to Thanksgiving weekend.
Yeah, I like that strategy. I also like the Packers. I know we're going to do some early NFL looks. Packers just missed the cut. Survivor, though, I kind of ruled out Thursday night games. There's I do like the Packers also, so I guess I would take them if I had to, but there's something weird about Thursday night games. Short week, injuries maybe bubble up faster than others. Those games get sideways, I feel a lot more quickly than your typical Sunday afternoon game.
Yes, I agree. And we are going to talk early picks for NFL Week 11 here in a little bit, but let's dive into our best bets for tonight. We are locked in on the Ravens for Survivor, so we'll see how that goes. I'm sure that's going to go well, hopefully. It seems it's the pick I've been the most comfortable with all season, so I'm sure this is where we're actually going to end up losing. All right, let's get
how it works.
Yeah, exactly. And I think Baker Mayfield's starting for the Panthers. Is that a good thing? Is that a bad thing? Who knows?
I don't know. I want to say it's a better thing for you. Ravens off a bye too.
Yes, Ravens off a bye. Panthers off a mini bye though.
Yeah.
All right, let's get into some picks here. We got community picks to get through here first, so why don't we start there? Let's bring up the first community pick for tonight. We got Cody Wells chiming in. Appalachian State plus 7.5 against Louisville. Keep fading Louisville as favorites so far. They've lost to Bellarmine and Wright State. Oh, right. App State ranks right in between those two. Line fell to 5.5, now back to 6. Still like it. That's a little college basketball action. I know neither of us have really dove too deep into college basketball so far this season, Reed. So I don't have too much to say about Appalachian State. Louisville has obviously looked bad, so I think that's probably a good look there.
Yeah, Louisville. I'm still I'm data mining, kind of observing and seeing what's happening. Yes. And Louisville's been terrible to start the year. New coach, total rebuild. I think the market is still catching up to this rebuild. I think that there was a hope that Louisville would be somewhat competent, but that hasn't been the case. They've been really bad. So I'm fading Louisville as favorites of a couple possessions. I don't think that's terrible. Appalachian State's not terrible for a Sun Belt team.
Every time I hear or think of Louisville basketball, I still get Kevin Ware's injury flash in my brain.
Gross way to discuss this happy-go-lucky show we have going here.
Yeah, seriously. All right, let's get right through to the next community pick here for tonight. At Randy Bobandy, a little Trailer Park Boys reference, if I believe. He says, laughs money line, Matt Murray revenge game. First of all, how dare you refer to my beloved Maple Leafs as the laughs?
Is that a chirp for Maple Leafs?
Yes.
Gotta get some backstory there.
Yes. Yeah, it's just, the Maple laughs.
Because people laugh at the Maple Leafs?
Yeah, laugh, leaf, kind of similar. Yeah. Maple laughs.
Tell me about this Matt Murray revenge game angle. What's he going to do? Who's he going to revenge on?
Matt Murray is the goaltender, the new goaltender for the Toronto Maple Leafs. He is the former goaltender for the Penguins. He was with them when they won at least one of their cups. I think it was just the one. He was on Ottawa Senators last year. The Leafs have goaltending issues. They try to sign him. He played terrible in the opening game of the season. I think he allowed 4 goals against Canadians, and then he got hurt. And this is his first game back from injury and first game playing against his former team, the Penguins, in that spot. So I'll give my thoughts on what I think the result of that game is going to be in a little bit because I have a pick for that game. So I'll leave my thoughts at that. But that's the Matt Murray revenge storyline going there. Laughs money line once again. Rude. Okay, let's bring up the next community pick. Benny at third and Ben. Sabres money line in the over 6.5. Yeah, I like both of those bets. Sabres. So I actually have 3 NHL picks for tonight, but I'm only giving out 2 of them on the show. The one that I'm not giving out on the show, which you can read about over at BetSided, is actually Sabres money line. So I guess technically I am giving it out on the show. They are taking on the Vancouver Canucks. Canucks have been one of the most disappointing teams in the NHL this year. A lot of people expect them to take a big step forward. They have not. They're 4-9-3. And their defense has been terrible, 26th in expected goals against per 60 minutes. So I like the Sabres at home. I got them at -120. I think you can get them at a pick 'em now. I think the lines have moved away from me. But yeah, I like the Buffalo game there. And they've also been a very good shooting team so far this season, so I don't mind the over as well. But I certainly prefer the Sabres money line. That is the bet I'm on in that game. Reed, do you have any hot takes about the Buffalo Sabres and Vancouver Canucks?
Oh, yeah. Scoreboard's going to explode. There's going to be so many goals. This is a dead right over here. And I'll ride the Sabres too. Why not?
Speaking of scoreboard exploding, I was on the under last night in the Kings and the Flames, under 6, and it finished with 11 goals.
Ooh.
It was 4-2 at my bet had already it was 4-2, so it already pushed at the end of the first period.
Oh, so you're dead. You're dead.
Yeah, I was immediately dead in that game, which is actually, I don't mind that because then it's not even a sweat. I'm just like, okay, well, that was dead. All right, let's go to the next community pick. Briston Reese, Georgetown, +1. No explanation, no breakdown. But Briston at Briston Reese 8 is on Georgetown. Do I know who they're playing off the top of my head? No.
Yeah, they're playing against, I got you.
Go for it.
They're playing Northwestern at home. Or at Capital One Arena, I think that's where the Wizards play. I don't think so. I guess it's technically a neutral, but it's right by where Georgetown plays, so kind of like a pseudo home game. Yeah, Georgetown. I don't know. Not sure I could get there. There's gonna be a lot of points though in this one. High total. I don't know. Good luck, Briston Reese. Good luck. Georgetown's terrible.
Who was it last night that pulled off a big upset? Was it Northwestern State or was it just Northwest?
Yeah, BTCU. Northwestern State, BTCU. There are a couple big upsets. There's been a lot of big upsets already, like all across the board. I mean, yes. FAU beat Florida last night in a barn burner.
Yep.
Like in Northwestern State. There's been a lot of, I think 2 Pac-12 teams have lost to 2 SWAC teams, which is like ridiculous. And there's another one tonight. So
and a Pac-12
early in the year. Yeah.
And a Pac-12 team lost to a Big West team.
That's like expected though. That it's kind of that was more of a coin flip game than anything.
That's true.
You don't just put UC Irvine on your schedule and expect a bye game.
No, absolutely not. All right, I think we got one more community pick here. Hot takes with TP3. Here's one you might be able to weigh in on, Reed. At TP3 bets. Jazz -4.5. Knicks are second worst 3-point shooting team in the NBA. Jazz are third. Jazz have one of the best home courts in the NBA and are 5-0 at home. Knicks also have 5th worst defense in the NBA. What is happening in Utah?
Yeah, don't hate this look. I mean, it's crazy. The Jazz this year really just, it doesn't look like this is going away so soon. People thought like me, this is a blip early in the season. Now it really looks like they have looked like a playoff team kind of. I don't even, what's the record now? Like 10-4, 11-4, something like that. So Jazz off to a hot start, and the Knicks defense is really bad, especially without Mitchell Robinson. So Jazz back at home, Knicks on the road. I like Utah laying the points here.
All right, I like it. I have nothing to weigh in on because I don't know much about the NBA. But before we get to our picks, Reed, I do want to get your thoughts on this. I tweeted about this morning. I've never seen a team get more sour after one loss before than the Philadelphia. They're 8-1, and holy moly, were they crying on Twitter last night and this morning? Is this normal from the Philadelphia fan base? Or are they just not used to having an actual good team? What is going on?
Yeah, maybe you're like, or I guess you are like, you're new to America. You don't really know like kind of the city way that teams act and fan bases act. This is pretty ho-hum for the Philadelphia sports fan base. I mean, as a New Yorker, we have our own kind of shtick. Philly has any loss is end of the world. They are, a very aggressive fan base. And yeah, I mean, they basically bullied Ben Simmons out of Philadelphia to compare it over the NBA. I mean, one loss, for an undefeated team, this is kind of the end. And, I know a lot of diehard Giant fans that do not enjoy going to Lincoln Financial because the fan base isn't so warm and comfortable to visiting fans or anything like that. It's been referred to as a house of horrors for a lot of Giants fans.
Listen, I have some experience with passionate fan bases as part of the Toronto Maple Leafs fan base.
Philly fan bases, like I do a lot of stuff with like Philadelphia 76er fans. Like they're nice people, like at their core, but like when it comes to sports, they are easily my least favorite fan base. They are ridiculous when it comes to half the things they say.
I mean, they're still in first place in the NFC. They had a game that like the ball just didn't bounce their way, and they lose what kind of was a close one to a divisional rival, and now all of a sudden it's like the team sucks. Everyone's out to get us. The referees. The game was fixed. Oh my God, settle down.
Philly sports fans they're like their own breed of fan base. They make it very difficult to root for. I because like I'm New York everything, so like I'm rivals with them in like pretty much every other sport. So you see like the vitriol reaction from like every Philly sport imaginable for me. So I'm pretty used to it at this point. You kind of just like move on with it. You're like, all right, that's just like classic Philly fan. But you'll get there one day. You're a soon to be converted New Yorker.
Yeah, never. All right, let's get to our best bets. I have 2 in the NHL, 1 in college basketball. You have, I think, is it 2 in college basketball and 1 in NBA?
Yes.
Let's start with NBA. What's your NBA bet for tonight?
Yeah, every net game I do like a net-centric prop. I think I'm on like a real heater here. I think I'm up like 5 units doing this. 1 prop each game. For this one, we do Nick Claxton over 20.5 points and rebounds. He's gone over this in 6 of 8 games when he plays 28 or more minutes. That's pretty much his season average. It's like 27.6. So anytime he plays his usual serving of minutes, he goes over it 6 of 8 times. Good matchup against the Kings for him, especially. Kings allow the 3rd fewest 3-point attempts, so the ball is going to be funneled inside. That's good for Claxton. He hangs around the rim, big dunker, so he can have some easy dunks and putbacks there. And the Kings' 3rd most points allowed in the paint, so there you go, Claxton again. And also the 27th in defensive rebound percentage. Claxton is really the lone big man on this Nets roster at the moment, so Claxton hoards the rebounds. I could definitely see a double-double here, but like 13 and 8, that gets you over. I think that's very likely for how Claxton's playing. Big leap for him. I like Claxton over 20.5 points and rebounds.
All right, there you go. A little NBA player prop. Nicholas Claxton. How about that? All right, I'm going to switch it up. I'm going to talk some NHL here, some National Hockey League. Let's talk about that Matt Murray revenge game, quote unquote. I will be fading that narrative. I will take the Pittsburgh Penguins to beat my Toronto Maple Leafs. I got them at -105. Matt Murray stinks. He's played 1 game for the Leafs, but I've seen enough from him in that 1 game. And now all of a sudden, goaltenders don't usually come off a layoff from an injury and then are all of a sudden in good form. They usually need a little bit to warm up. So I don't have any faith in him having a good game tonight, especially with how good Pittsburgh has been offensively this year. Pittsburgh, 3rd in 5-on-5 expected goals per 60 minutes this season. They're going to pepper Matt Murray with shots tonight. And I don't think he's going to do enough to lead Toronto to the win. Also, Toronto, I'm not sold on them yet this year. They got to figure out their shooting. They can't put the puck in the back of the net, and it's been hurting them at times this year. So I'll back Pittsburgh as a slight home underdog against Toronto for my first NHL pick of the night. Let me just dive into my next NHL pick, because then we got 3 college basketball fans, so then we'll go back to the back. And then I do want to talk a little bit about Philly, because Ben Heisler has a comment about that as well. But let me give out my next NHL pick here real quick, just to get these out of the way. Going to go under 6 between the Minnesota Wild and Nashville Predators. I was just talking about how the Leafs can't score. Neither of these teams can score as well, especially the Minnesota Wild, 28th in shooting percentage this year. The Predators not much better at 24th in shooting percentage. The 2 teams are combining for only 5.25 goals per game, well below the total of 6 there. And these are 2 goalies who haven't got off to a great start this season, but 2 goalies that I think are going to start to see some positive regression from. Marc-Andre Fleury for the Wild, and also my Vezina Trophy winner pick, Hughes Saros for the Nashville Predators. So if those 2 guys can start trending in the right direction, tonight would be a good time for them to do it, since they're going up against 2 teams that can't score. So I will take the under in that one. I just wanted to double check, because when I write these picks up. Goaltenders don't get confirmed in hockey until hours before the game starts, which is really annoying. Marc-Andre Fleury is confirmed for tonight. Saros is expected but not confirmed yet. So I like this bet even more if Saros gets a start. Casey DeSmith starting for the Penguins. Interesting. Okay, so there you go. Those are my 2 NHL picks to give it on the show. Ben says Philly fans are nuts, but it's a UC Irvine fans that should really terrify you. They're crazy. Correct. The most passionate fan base.
Yeah, really. Those guys are nuts. You see a UC Irvine on the street, a UC Irvine fan on the street, you walk the other way.
Correct. You cross the street and you at the Bren Event Center. You ever go to a game at the Donald Bren Event Center? Ooh.
Teams don't just walk into that center and expect to get a win. That is a dogfight no matter what.
Oh my God. It seats 5,608 people. Oh.
5,608 fanatics. Absolute radicals.
Go Anteaters. The Anteaters are a terrifying bunch. And also our producer, JJ, says he's a Philly fan. He's a Philadelphia guy. He says, we are the best fans in the nation. So how about that?
We are trashing Philadelphia. That's a classic. That's like how a Philly sports fan would talk, just classic Philly fan. It's just classic Philly.
We were sitting here trashing Philadelphia fans. Completely forgot JJ is a Philly guy. So he's probably going to have some choice words for us when this broadcast is over. All right, let's talk college basketball here. Reed, what's your first college basketball pick for tonight?
Yeah, like I said, kind of just picking and choosing some spots, not like spraying the board just yet. Certain spots. The first one, especially St. Louis -2.5. This was one I had circled from last night, so was happy to get in on that. I think that this line should be over 2 possessions. Last year, these teams met in St. Louis, 90-74 Memphis. But if you go back and look, there's a lot of Amoni Bates, a lot of Jalen Duren, a lot of Tyler Harris, Lester Quinones. Those guys aren't there anymore. This is a totally different Memphis team. Meanwhile, St. Louis, they bring back pretty much everybody and add Pickett from Missouri. I like the SLU offense a lot more in Memphis. They have Kendrick Davis, the SMU transfer at guard, but they don't. It's a lot of iso ball, and they don't have the shooters that can match St. Louis on the other end. So I like SLU. They're a great rebounding team. I think they can out-muscle Memphis. So I like SLU going away here. The Bilks -2.5 is my first college basketball play. And that's pretty much that's the first one. You want to do yours, and then I'll finish with mine?
Sure, sounds good. Go Billikens is all I have to say about that one. My pick is, you probably guessed it. It is the team that should be ranked in the top 25. In my opinion, if you beat the number 21 ranked team in the country, how are you not ranked in the top 25? UC Irvine. It won't be long. Maybe after tonight. I'll take him -4.5 against Loyola Marymount. They should be double-digit favorites. This line is disrespectful. Not quite as disrespectful as being 16-point underdogs to Oregon, but pretty close. So I'm going to keep betting on UC Irvine until the sportsbooks respect the Anteaters. 8th in opponent effective field goal percentage this season. Loyola 280th. The UC Irvine defense, nobody can score on this defense. I don't care if it was the Bulls, the Chicago Bulls from the 90s, they're not scoring on this UC Irvine defense this year. 29th in defensive efficiency. Loyola Marymount 211th. Loyola Marymount lost to UC Riverside, the disgrace of the Big West.
The runt of the UCs. It's the runt of the family.
It's correct. If they're going to lose to UC Riverside, they're going to get smoked by UC Irvine. So Zot, go Anteaters -4.5 against Loyola Marymount tonight.
I love it. Are they at home or they got to be on the road, right?
They are at home.
No way. At the Bradley Center or whatever? There's going to be 5,608 people going nuts for this one.
The November 15th Event Center. It is not even a basketball stadium. It's an event center.
That's great. It's great. It's like a rec gym. I love college basketball. It's the best. My third one, this one's an underdog, another small spread though. New Mexico +3 against SMU. This is a rebuild going on with the Mustangs. Rob Lanier in from Georgia State. And there's just a team that is still going through growing pains where Rich Pitino, he's at New Mexico. He has House, Mashburn, Uduze, the former Wichita State player. This is just a better New Mexico team, in my opinion. Kempom has SMU rated higher, but I think that's still holding priors of last year's team, whereas the New Mexico team, I just think better shot makers. They play at a top 50 pace. I trust their offense a lot more in this one. And, yeah, give me the +3. I just think this is more of a put-together team right now. And for any more plays, my bet stamp at RW33. I'll have more college basketball plays over the next few weeks. I'll start ramping it up. I think I'm like 7-3-1 now. I think I've hit my last 5 since we were on the show. Shout out Ryder last week, nearly beating Providence outright. Ed Cooley as a favorite. Give me a break.
I like it. I do have one more. Can I say one more thing about UC Irvine?
Please, anything. I want to know everything about them.
Shout out Justin Hahn, I think is how you say his last name. He is a member of the UC Irvine Anteaters. When I made my video and tweeted it out about UC Irvine upsetting Oregon, he retweeted it afterwards and said "zot zot" with the crying emoji face. So
no way.
I now follow him on Twitter. So shout out. He did follow me. He didn't follow me back though, which kind of hurt my feelings a little bit. But shout out to J-Mac, Justin at Justin_Hahn 2, UC Irvine men's basketball.
That's unreal. That is a brutal feeling though when you interact with someone on Twitter and then you follow them and then they don't follow you back. That's like incredibly rude. It's like it's one of the rudest things you could do online.
I mean, maybe he doesn't want to follow me because I'm a betting guy and he doesn't want to get in trouble as a college basketball player. That's what I'm telling myself. But shout out to him and his.
I missed that over the weekend.
In his game, how many points he scored? 3 points against Oregon in 11 minutes. So it wasn't your best game, Justin Hahn, but that's all right.
Imagine he was watching.
Yeah. Well, he didn't follow me on Twitter, so I don't know. I don't know if he's tuned in, unfortunately. 37.5% from the field. We got to improve those numbers a little bit, Justin. Number 2, guard for the UC Irvine Anteaters. Retweeted me, so how about that? Big Justin.
It seems like he's a bench player. He's definitely going to be getting some mop-up minutes after they wipe the floor with Loyola Marymount tonight.
Correct. He'll get a lot of minutes tonight.
Yeah, Justin will get those numbers up, baby.
Big game tonight. All right, so those are our best bets. We got a recap graphic to, I think, yeah, we do. I'm on Penguins -105 against the Leafs, under 6 between the Wild and the Predators for some NHL, and also UC Irvine, go Anteaters, zot, -4.5 against Loyola Marymount. And you are on Nicholas Claxton, over 20.5 points and rebounds for an NBA player prop. St. Louis, the Billikens, -2.5 against Memphis. And New Mexico, who are they? The Lobos?
Oh, yeah.
+3 against the SMU Mustangs. All right, what do we got next? We got some early looks for next week in the NFL. Why don't you start us off? What's a bet that either you have locked in or are going to lock in for next week?
Yeah, haven't locked in anything NFL-wise, but I am going to be playing the Patriots -3 against the Jets. Pretty simple logic here. Patriots are -3 at MetLife the other week, 2 weeks ago, against the Jets. Absolutely made life hell for Zach Wilson. People wanted him to be benched. People wanted him off the team. I get they beat the Bills and then went into a bye, but Josh Allen gets hurt. The defense took over. I just think that this is a totally different game. I think it's an overreaction to that win over the Bills. Patriots, again, -3 in New York 2 weeks ago. Or 3 weeks ago. Now they're only 3-point favorites at home. I like the Patriots. I think that they're going to win this game on the ground and, win this game going away. I think this is an overreaction. The Patriots are still not a great team, but they're a good team. I think the Jets, time to sell high on them.
I have a different game I want to talk about, but I'm going to be honest, Reed. I disagree. I'm on Jets money line.
Okay. We're still friends. Like I won't take it personally.
I like the Jets defense, man.
I like the Jets defense too. I just think that they were home underdogs to the Patriots 2 games ago.
Yes.
All of a sudden we're changing our tune. Just be like the same thing. Not that much change except that they upset the Bills. I just think that's an overreaction. So I'll play against it. I like that.
Fair enough. I get that logic. The game I'm looking at though is Cowboys against the Vikings. Gonna try to keep selling high on this Vikings team.
Okay.
They keep winning, but I think we got to go against them here. If you look at the offensive numbers for these two teams, very similar, but where the difference is their defense. It's night and day. The Vikings have one of the worst defenses in the NFL. It's crazy that their record is what it is. And this is coming from a guy who was high on the Vikings heading into the season. I knew they'd be good. I thought they'd be good. But the record is even better than I thought, but their stats don't really hold up. 28th, 9th, and if we're talking opponent yards per play, they're 28th. Third down defense are 9th, pretty good there. 31st in red zone defense. They have the second worst red zone defense in all of football. And they can't stop the pass either. So I think this might be a little bit of a Dak Prescott breakout game, a little bounce back from last week. I just think the defense is what's going to make the difference in this game. Cowboys have one of the best defense in the NFL. Vikings have one of the worst. It's as simple as that. Give me Dallas to finally end this Vikings win streak.
Yeah, I don't know about this one. I feel like this is going to be like the polarizing game of the week where you're going to have people on all sides of on both sides of the aisle where, oh, the Vikings are 8-1. How could they be home underdogs to the Cowboys? Like, the Cowboys are a very good team, and you made a great case there. So I don't disagree with you. I don't know if I'm going to have a bet on this game just because, like I said, I think it's a polarizing game. But yeah, the Vikings defense is a big problem. It's why, I have a 20-1 future on them to win the NFC, but I'm concerned about them because of that defense, and also because Kirk Cousins really, it seems like, tries to throw the ball to the other team like at will in the close games. So I'm not overreacting to the Vikings. Was it 8-1 start? 9, whatever it is.
8-1.
They're a very good team, and I'm happy that my preseason future is like somewhat being justified here. Like, oh, they are better than expected. There's some value there. They're going to win the division, may even be the number 1 seed. But Cowboys are good, and like you said, that's a tough defense to go to try and score on. So, I don't disagree with the line. It's interesting. I'm interested to hear a lot of people's opinions on this one because I think you're going to see a lot of polarizing takes and a lot of people upset by the end of this game.
Yeah, it'll certainly be one of the most interesting games of this weekend. But there you have it. Those are some early picks for NFL Week 11. Let's talk game of the night, which is UC Irvine and Loyola Marymount. No, it's Duke and Kansas. What do they call this? The Champions Classic?
Yep. Champions Classic.
It's Michigan State against Kentucky, I believe, and then Duke and Kansas. So we picked Duke and Kansas as the game of the night here. I think it's a little bit more of a compelling one. Obviously, the defending champions are playing here. Still, and we mentioned this a couple times, it's so early in college basketball. I find it very difficult to handicap these early games, but it is game of the night, so we'll give a pick. What way are you looking, Reed?
Yeah, like you said, there are a lot of factors going on in this game, especially Duke. New coach John Shire, and the number 1 recruiting class in the country. So a lot of new pieces coming in. But I do like the Duke side. Smaller play. I think the Duke -2.5. I think they could win this game. The size advantage is just staggering in this one. Duke top 10 in terms of average height. Kansas closer to the 100th. They need to replace David McCormack. I think it's going to take some time to figure out. And also Bill Self. I would say that Bill Self versus John Shire is a huge coaching advantage, but Bill Self isn't coaching in this game. He's suspended for the first 4 games after the sanctions were put down. I think that's going to be a lot here, actually. Maybe neutralize the playing field. You have a veteran coach against John Shire in his real first kind of big spot. That's not happening, though, and that advantage is kind of mitigated. So I think Duke wins this game on the glass. I think they win this game going away. I thought going into the year, just to talk big picture, Duke was one of the undervalued national championship teams, in my opinion. I think North Carolina got a lot of love heading into the season because they bring back Caleb Love, Davis, Armando Bacot. That run to the national championship was a little smoke and mirrors. That was a team in the regular season that really struggled and was somewhat, they were, 8 seed? There were points where people thought they were going to be on the bubble. So I think Duke is actually going to end up being the best team in the ACC if you're looking for closer to 20-1 futures. This could be a buy point on Duke if you like them tonight. So, I'm on the Blue Devil side. Not super confident or anything, but that's just why I think they're a better team.
Speaking of ACC and UNC is not going to be as good because they're missing actually their best player from last season.
Brady Manick.
Manic Mania. Who Brady Manick is now playing for the Perth Wildcats of the National Basketball League. Any thoughts on Brady Manick and the Perth Wildcats?
I'll keep those opinions to myself as I have some hot takes I don't know if the world is ready for on the Perth Wildcats.
All right. Ben says Norm Roberts coaching for KU, former head coach at St. John's. He's been around the block. There you go. Norm Roberts. My best bet for the game, I'm looking at the under in this game. I'm not going to go on the side. I'm going to take under 144.5. -105 is the juice I got on this one. This is mostly just based on Duke's stats. Very, 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 very early into the season. But second defensive efficiency through the first couple of games, 137th in effective field goal percentage. And they have played Jacksonville and USC upstate. So, yes, they shut them down defensively. Their shooting hasn't been great, though. Better than I would have, or not as good as I would have expected against Jacksonville and USC upstate. So if they can play strong defense again tonight, maybe their offense isn't as sharp as it will be later in the year. I think that lends towards an under. Also, they've been playing extremely slow pace, 317th in possessions per game, if you want to look at that stat. So just based on that alone, I'll take the under 144.5 here and hope for the best. But these early season college basketball games are tough to handicap, in my opinion. I went 0-2 last night, so I'm a little, my confidence isn't very high in college basketball. But I'm going to go at least 1-0 tonight with UC Irvine, and then hopefully this under will hit as well. And the poll is in. And the poll is on Kansas plus 2.5 on the defending champs. So we're all on different sides tonight. I'm on the under. So what's going to happen is Duke will win, not cover, and the total will go over. So then we're all, I guess Kansas plus 2.5 would win there. Yeah. I don't know. The total is going to
do last night. I think the community won on Friday.
Last night, the community was on Washington, so they were on with me last night. So the community's 1-0 on the week.
It's me there too.
Yes.
25 grand down the drain.
Yep, it's gone. I was half rooting for you, but also there's 4 other people on Eagles last night.
Nah, you weren't rooting for me. It's fine.
No,
you were thrilled.
Yes. I wanted Washington to win, but I wanted you to I wanted you to find out that you actually did switch to Pittsburgh.
Like I slept tapped it in.
But, yes. Not the case. Unfortunately, you are eliminated.
Well, hopefully next Tuesday we can talk about what was it, week 12? Week 12 yes. Early survivor picks here.
Yes. Let's go Ravens. All right, that's our show. Thank you all for watching. Give us a like, subscribe to the channel, please, and thank you. Best of luck with your bets tonight. Reed, do you have any final thoughts?
No, just check out the early Reed had Max Meyer on from Caesars Sportsbook. Talk all things week 12. Great show. I think I gave out like 9 college football bets, including a few Maxim ones. So stuff to keep you satisfied during the week. And check that out. And like Iain said, like and subscribe to the channel. Thank you.
Yes, we did not give out any Maxion picks on this show, so go ahead and check out the early read for that. I have one final thought, actually 2 final thoughts. Zot. Let's go Anteaters. Thank you all for watching. Good luck tonight. Gamble or bless. I'll talk to you tomorrow.